Hello, everyone, and thank you for visiting my channel. Today, I want to discuss why an expat shouldn't select a Filipino solely based on age and maturity. Doing so could lead to disappointment. A 30-year-old Filipina might possess the maturity level of an 18-year-old, while a 50-year-old could have the maturity level of a 25-year-old or younger. Conversely, an 18-year-old could exhibit the maturity level of a 30-year-old. We will explore this topic further. Stay tuned. Many expats who move to the Philippines in pursuit of romance often carry preconceived notions about what maturity entails. It is a common misconception that older Filipinas are inherently more emotionally stable, mature, and ready for a relationship than their younger counterparts. While this is not always true, it can sometimes be the case. In reality, emotional maturity does not necessarily align with age, especially considering the Philippines' unique cultural and social landscape. Many expats think that in structured Western societies where adulthood often follows a pattern, education, work, family, maturity comes naturally with age. However, these patterns are less fixed and less certain in the Philippines. A Filipina who is 50 years old may still live with her parents, may never have had a stable career, and can exhibit high levels of emotional reactivity or dependency. On the other hand, an 18-year-old woman may be the family's sole provider, managing home duties with the maturity and self control of someone twice her age. In other words, age is merely a number in the Philippines. It does not always reflect maturity, experience, or wisdom. Emotional growth is not solely determined by the past and years. It is often influenced by survival, familiar responsibilities, or the desire to mature quickly due to poverty. While age is often a factor in dating, it does not definitely determine a Filipina's maturity. A survey conducted in February 2019 among 1,440 Filipino participants showed that age gaps were not a significant concern for many, although teens and those in their early 20s generally preferred partners within a 3-year age range. Filipinas at an ideal age for marriage tend to be more open to dating someone regardless of age, as they actively seek a potential marriage partner. Many Filipinas prefer dating older men due to perceived maturity and financial stability. It's common to assume that older men are more responsible and have more life experience. The idea that men mature later than women and usually start treating relationships seriously in their 30s is consistent with this. Older men can provide a sense of security to Filipinas who date with the goal of marriage and who are looking for committed, long term relationships. This preference is further supported by the idea that older men are more likely to be financially independent and can offer more genuine life advice. Some Filipinas who choose to marry older expats are content with their decision, often seeing it as an alternative to local men who may be perceived as irresponsible. For Filipinas who might lack wealth or education, expats are generally viewed as more mature and financially secure. For some, these kinds of relationships might be seen as a lifesaver because they give them a stable life and a companion who can offer care and guidance. Even though older Filipinas are sometimes preferred since they are perceived to be mature, expats may sometimes run into circumstances when a Filipina's chronological age does not match their anticipated degree of maturity. According to one anecdotal account, younger Filipino partners with older men would behave more reserved around their partners, but would become gregarious and playful when their partners weren't around. This suggests that the two couples' real personalities differ from how they are perceived to behave in the relationship. Dating dynamics and views of maturity can be significantly impacted by socioeconomic circumstances. Because of the Philippines' high rates of poverty, many Filipinas can place a higher value on a partner's capacity to support them and their families financially. Expats may perceive this pragmatic concern as a lack of emotional development or sincere compassion. Some Filipinos from less affluent families are specifically seeking a benefactor as opposed to love. Nevertheless, not every relationship is motivated by money. Although having money is important, many Filipinas also look for a mate who would show them commitment and appreciation. Of course, there are also red flags regarding instances of Filipinos trying to take advantage of expats for financial gain, such as requesting pricey things or pretending to be ill, underscoring the significance of identifying sincere intentions. As you know, independence is a hallmark of adulthood in Western societies. However, Filipinos tend to stay in their family's home well into their 30s or even 40s. Culturally, this is perceived as polite and loyal rather than immature. But from the perspective of an expat, this ongoing reliance may seem like a lack of personal development. It's possible that some older Filipinas have never had to question their parents' ideas, move out, or make decisions on their own. As a result, a 50-year-old lady may still act like a teenager when it comes to handling stress, resolving conflicts, or communicating emotionally. Filipino families, especially Catholic ones, tend to be protective of their daughters. Many Filipinas are discouraged from fully exploring life. Emotional growth may be hampered by this. They may never have had a major career, wait until their 30s to date, or lack the experiences necessary to develop maturely. Even well into adulthood, this oversheltering might result in naivety or irrational expectations towards relationships. Due to poverty, some younger Filipinas are forced into adult roles early. Most at the age of 14 begin working to support their siblings or even to raise their younger cousins. These women frequently exhibit grit, selflessness, and emotional intelligence well beyond their years. They might be more trustworthy and responsible than a woman twice their age who has been financially supported her entire life. When an 18 or 20-year-old exhibits greater lucidity and poise than a 45-year-old single mother who has never worked and still relies on others, expats are frequently taken by surprise. Some older Filipinas might have had quiet or sheltered life. They might have relied on their parents for financial support and never worked or considered marrying young. They might not have progressed past a certain emotional stage if they had never gained emotional intelligence or independence. Age for them was just merely a repetition of immaturity, not growth. In Filipino society, social media has two sides. It promotes superficial affirmation even if it provides education and exposure to the world. Like their younger counterparts, some older Filipinas have embraced the attention seeking behavior, internet drama, and selfie culture. 50-year-old Filipinas are frequently well known on TikTok for their dancing, attention seeking, or cryptic emotional posts. Meanwhile, a younger Filipina might use social media purely for business or communication. An expat seeking a mature partner might be disappointed to see their 45-year-old girlfriend behave like a 20-year-old influencer. A common source of confusion is the difference between practical maturity and emotional maturity. This includes time management, budgeting, reliability, and meeting family responsibilities. Many Filipinas, even young ones, possess this due to necessity. This is where the gap often lies. It includes managing conflicts amicably, accepting accountability without placing blame on others, expressing feelings openly, maintaining consistency, taking criticism well, and comprehending long term effects are all part of it. In the Philippines, these characteristics are not always present as people age. Contrary to what many expats anticipate, instead of settling disputes, some older Filipinas may still act out, play emotional games, or ignore others. Here are some scenarios regarding Filipinas of different age groups. Scenario number one: the 50-year-old drama queen. A 60-year-old expat in search of a peaceful, mature relationship meets a 50-year-old Filipina. She appears content and lovely. However, weeks later, she starts acting like a high school kid, stalking his Facebook page, having jealousy outbursts, and wanting attention all the time. Scenario number two: the grounded 21-year-old. An expat in his 40s decided to date a 21-year-old. At first, he was hesitant given her age. Nevertheless, she proves to be stable, honest, driven, and emotionally intelligent. He realizes she has more maturity than many women in their 30s and 40s whom he previously dated back in the West. Scenario number three: the immature single mother. A 56-year-old expat from the UK decided to date a 45-year-old single mother. He thought her age seems appropriate given that he is 56 and that they would be able to have relatable conversations. However, she still avoids difficult confrontations, never takes responsibility, and expects to be treated like a princess. She hasn't grown up one bit despite her age. Maturity is greatly influenced by one's educational background, including both academic and emotional education. While some Filipinas complete their high school education, others obtain degrees and go overseas. People who are exposed to many cultures, obstacles, and chances for personal growth typically experience greater emotional development. Compared to a 50-year-old who spent her entire life in a small province with limited exposure to the outside world, an educated 25-year-old who worked abroad may be significantly more self aware. There is also the factor of deep religiosity. When it comes to relationships, some older Filipinas are quite idealistic or narrow minded. Divorce, sexuality, or relationship patterns that don't align with their moral compass may be unacceptable to them. Younger Filipinas brought up with progressive ideals, on the other hand, might be more emotionally flexible and open minded, particularly if they are exposed to novel concepts through education, travel, or the internet. The harsh truth is that a person's journey, not their age, determines their level of maturity. Life challenges, responsibilities, heartbreaks, education, values, and personality all shape how someone grows up emotionally. A Filipina in her 20s might be more prepared for a committed relationship than someone in their 40s. Additionally, older Filipinas may be emotionally immature while having lived for decades because they are locked in patterns they have never challenged. The rise of online dating platforms has made it easier for people to connect, with age being a prominent factor that users consider. Many dating apps users in the Philippines specifically seek older matches, often looking for more mature conversationalists. Due to their perceived depth of discourse and lack of pretense, young people, such as college students, have expressed a preference for older relationships. Additionally, older candidates are thought to be more competent in providing life guidance and are more financially independent. Age serves as a concrete benchmark for assessing a match's emotional and intellectual maturity, and this virtual setting allows users to test out potential relationships without fully committing. However, dishonesty is also a significant issue in online dating, such as catfishing. While age often correlates with maturity, especially regarding life experience and financial stability, it is not the sole determinant in dating Filipinas. Expats may find that a Filipina's maturity and dating style are shaped more by her cultural norms, socioeconomic status, and unique personality rather than her actual age. Alright, guys, that is all for today's show. If you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good day.